the Audacity. The Audacity is a space where we allow people to speak their truths and be heard. And today we have a very, very special person with us. We have Miss Cecile Nunley, who is running for the Sacramento City Unified School District Board. Let's give her a hand. Okay, Cecile.
Thank you so much for inviting me here. I really do appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I think this is just wonderful. So thank you.
You're very welcome. You are quite a phenomenal woman. I started to do some research on you, and I found that you are extremely intelligent and very active and dedicated to your people. And so I just want you to tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're running and share.
All right. Well, youngest of 5 children, and my parents always said education is important. I grew up believing education was just so important to us and to our community. So that's always been a high priority for me and my family. I have my 2 children, both college graduates. One has a master's, the other's a Juris Doctorate. So always.
What's a Juris what?
Juris Doctorate, which is a legal degree.
A Juris Doctorate, which
Yeah.
means they are really good jurors? What does that mean?
No, it just means that they have studied the law.
Ooh,
so
if I get in trouble.
Yeah. He's the only one that can call.
So what college did you go to?
I graduated from Cal State San Bernardino.
Nice.
Down in Southern California. I have a business administration with a concentration in accounting, and it is a Bachelor of Science degree.
You hear that, people? She can count your money. Okay. Can you tell us, I mean, to me, running for anything is terrifying, and if I ever decided to, I would have to have years of confidence building up to that decision. But you have taken a gigantic leap of faith and jumped into this race for school board.
Mm-hmm.
So can you just share, like, what was your inspiration and what made you finally go ahead and turn in that application?
Well, there was a couple of things. I've worked at school districts, and I've been working with school districts for the past 24 years. And I recently retired as Chief Business Officer from Vallejo City Unified School District.
Wow.
Prior to that, I was the Chief Business Officer for Dixon Unified School District.
Yeah.
Now, even though I'm in the business realm, we work very closely. When you're in a school district, you have to work very closely with the curriculum and education side of the house. And especially if you're at the top level, where you're right under the superintendent, you learn about the achievement gap.
Yeah.
And you learn about our students. And in Vallejo, I saw firsthand where we are still struggling, many of our students. And my superintendent at that time was working very hard to try to implement programs that would change the paradigm, really getting cultural sensitivity, implicit bias, and trying to make it mandatory for everyone in the district. So from top to bottom,
Wow.
everyone
So
understood.
You have I would say, a clear understanding and of the big picture of what it means to run a school district.
Absolutely.
But why? You said you're retired.
Yeah, I'm retired.
Why not just go to Jamaica? Why be bothered with why? Like,
that is a really good question. Even after I retired, and there were some things that when I was still working, I didn't quite feel like my job was done or my work was done. I was comfortable, which is fine, and I'm financially okay. But what about those that are still there? I have children. I have grandchildren. It doesn't mean you stop caring. And so once I retired, and especially after Trump was elected, I just couldn't have it continue. I had to jump in and do something.
Yeah.
And since I've been involved with Sac City, I go to most of the board meetings. The board members know me by name and by sight. As soon as they see me, oh, hi, Cecile. And
so then here's the question. You go to a lot of the board meetings.
Yes.
Are you usually sometimes the only person there?
I may not be the only person there, but I'm one of the few, and usually I speak about 4 or 5 times during those meetings.
So you know what's happening right now with our school district.
Oh, yes, I do.
What's going on?
Okay, one of the biggest things, there's 2 big things that are going on. One of them is the budget. That's the biggest issue right now that's
Which
going on.
you know a lot about because of your background.
I have
So you
prepared
can explain
it.
You have prepared.
I have actually prepared school district budgets. I don't think anybody even sitting on the board now, as well as any of those running, have ever prepared a school district budget.
So what's happening with the budget? Because I know it was rejected.
It was rejected by the County Office of Education. And just a little bit, the county oversees the school districts
Right.
within their group.
Right.
And the county has to approve a budget. For the first time ever, Sacramento City's budget was rejected, as you said, by the County Office of Ed.
Why was it rejected?
It was not meeting the minimum standards of making sure that they could continue operating appropriately without running out of money. Let's just say that very simply.
So where do school districts get money from?
Most of the money is from the state.
Okay.
You have property taxes, then you have state funding,
Okay.
and especially through the local control funding formula.
Uh-huh.
And then you also have federal grants, and then you have some state grants.
Okay, so what would cause them to run out of money?
Well, their expenses at this time just keep elevating and going further and further.
Mm-hmm.
Well, over time, we were getting more funding with the governor's budget with this local control funding formula that I talk about,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll shorten it to LCFF just so
Mhm.
everybody can get used to it. But that gave schools more money, but then if they didn't properly budget for things and look at their expenses as they're going out,
Mm-hmm.
then what has a tendency to happen, now there's no more new money,
Mm-hmm.
and
The budget is,
is-
wow.
the expenditures are just too much.
Wow.
So the district would be okay this year, next year their fund balance is upside down, and the year after that, it's really upside down.
So then who on the school board is responsible for creating a fiscally responsible budget?
All of the board members are responsible because they have to approve the budget. It's in the law. School
Wow.
district boards have to approve the budget. Who's responsible for putting it together would be that CBO or that chief business officer, which is what I have been.
Wow.
But you have to be aware of what's in there and really
Yeah.
understand it, because if you don't understand it, you just approve something
Yeah.
and you don't even know what's going on.
And
So,
then say the budget is not approved, you know, or if or they run out of money, or you know, things that happen. Who are the most vulnerable people? Like, what services are the kind that get cut?
well, are the most vulnerable are our students and our families. They get hurt the worst. And I want to talk just a quick second about once the budget is rejected by the county, what that means is that's the start of the school district and the board losing control, losing some ability to make decisions. Because what ends up happening is the county appoints someone over them. District doesn't go and hire. They don't get to choose and do let me interview this person or that person. No, the county says, here's who's going to be over you.
And
So-
is that good or bad?
That's really bad. I mean, if you think about, you would want to control your own destiny. I do. I don't want somebody coming in and telling me what I have to do and what I can't do. Well, you're in that situation now with the county appointing someone over the district.